How's everybody doing? Glad that you can join me today. Well, historic day, huh? At least they tell me it is. All right, that's cool. Just listening to a little jazz on this Thursday evening. Glad that you can join me. Well, how about it? It's at the top of the news today all over the world, all over our country. Donald Trump found guilty on all 32 counts. Then he's going to be judged and given a date. Is he going to do time? Probably not. Is he going to run for the presidency of the United States? Probably so. I don't see what's going to hinder him from doing so. Nothing standing in the way. He, as a matter of fact, may get the majority vote of the nation because they love him. But I'm not going to discuss that. I just want to have a little talk with you today about how you're doing and give you an update on my cancerous tumor under my left arm here. Still waiting to meet with the doctors. We know what the prognosis is. Now we're waiting to see what the treatment is going to be. So when that comes around, I'll inform you and so that you can stay abreast with me. Okay, what's been going on in my life? Nothing. Drinking a little bit of the bubbly. Holding to my guns on a lot of things. You know, as I get older, people have a tendency to tell me, John, will you ever admit that you were wrong about certain things? Yes, if it calls for that kind of admittance. Listen, I'm just chilling. I'm thinking about how I'm going to spend the rest of the evening. I don't know what I want to do. I just may recline on my little bed here and get some rest, some well needed rest. I'm kind of like, oh, I just got through eating dinner and it was a good dinner. I really don't feel like talking that much. Just want to give you an update. How do I feel? I don't have any specific feelings that I can tap in on. Am I happy about the verdict of Mr. Trump's trial? I can care less. I will say this, and I think it's a good thing to say. A good thing to say right now, because it needs to be said. If he is elected president, it's because the majority of the people of this nation agrees with him as to how they want their country run. I don't, if you get the count right, I'm thinking about it. Are you happy with what the Biden administration is doing? And you know what I'm speaking about. You know exactly what I'm speaking about. Speaking about that conflict over there in the Middle East. Let me turn this off. Let me turn that off. I'm speaking about that conflict in Palestine. Are you happy with what is going on. Have you seen the university protest all over the country, all over the world? I'm going to step out on a limb as I talk about this, because in a way I may be indicting myself with a particular point of view that find me being hypocritical. Here's my battle, if you will. I want to share it with you. How can I retain the opinion that I have of Israel and the Bible and my faith, my own faith of Christianity? How can I sustain holding to everything that I once believed about the Bible, about Israel? And I understand I'm just chilling and I'm thinking about this. I understand the argument that those aren't the original Jews. I understand that argument and I adopt that argument. All the Bible story lessons about, wait a minute, let me get into a deeper subject matter. I think that the deeper subject matter, without me jumping on past history, is to answer this question. And maybe you can write me back sometime and comment on it. I guess what I'm trying to ask you, in all honesty, there's a hell of a lot of people dying. And I know that there's always been wars and killings, genocidal things. And we Americans over here in this country have always been relatively safe from all that. This is striking home because it's affecting our children and our grandchildren now. I hate the fact that they're refusing to give degrees to certain people because they speak about Palestine. That's really, I'm trying to chill, but this thing is causing me some bad feelings. I'm trying to chill and get away from it. But at the same time, I have to be true to myself. I am thoroughly aware of what Hamas did when they raided that concert. And some of the households of the Israelis in Gaza. I'm fully aware of the murders, the kidnappings, the rapes, the beheadings. I'm fully aware of all that. And I know if that happened, like when 9/11 happened to the Twin Towers in New York, I'm here in Los Angeles, and I was outraged. So I'm fully aware of that. No doubt. But is that justification meant? I've been seeing some news clippings about people that were running for political office. A female, a white female, I forget her name. What's her name? Haley? I don't know. Kill them all? I'm perturbed at what I see some of the Supreme Court justices justifying on their own property and recognizing from certain news agencies that the wives of the Supreme Court justice put the flag up there. So if the wife put it up there, the husband, who is a Supreme Court justice, has to feel the same way. It's problematic. That's troubling in this society. I'm not going to say that I wish that there was a way that all these conflicts can be resolved, because they can be. They could be. At a simple drop of a hat, all of it could be resolved. But I want to pose this question, and I want to see how many of you, you don't have to answer me now because you're not there at your computer. You're probably watching the playoffs or something, because in this country, they got you entertained enough with sports that you don't want to uh, chill with me and ask these questions. I don't think it's an issue of taking sides, that BS, whether you Republican or Democrat. That, no, I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. If the leader of our nation, because Donald Trump could become reelected again, If the leader of our nation has a 32 count indictment found guilty by a jury of his peers, what makes anything that our government says or does legit? Can anything be believed? What do we tell our children? What do we expect of them? Can we expect more out of our children than and grandchildren and great grandchildren, and do we expect them to expect more from us? That's what I'm asking you. And don't pay me any attention. I'm just taking care of a little business here. Just an old 80-year-old man talking, asking questions. How do we expect our young people in this country to obey the law, to do things right? Why would we expect them to adhere to anything ethical? How can we say to the young people, you should obey your parents? This is what an 80-year-old man is thinking about. I have to tell the truth. I used to think that America, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing. Land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, from sea to shining sea, let freedom ring. I used to sing that in grade school. I used to sing along with other black kids, white kids, Hispanic kids, Asian kids. We all sung that song, America the Beautiful. Now, here at the turning stages of my life, the time in my life when I should be what? When I should be living the good life. And I see my country on the brink of total insanity. It's a chill out webcast because it appears for the first time I may not have any answers to the rhetorical questions that I've been asking. It's really problematic for me. I don't think we have any leaders in this country to guide us with wisdom, logic. On either party. Uh, and I'm not talking about make America great again. I'm not talking about that because we can't go back to the way it was, drive-in theaters, racial epithets, choking out black men and minority persons, and thinking that Caucasians are racially superior in any way to anyone else because they are not. What Hamas did, God, see, I want to say what Hamas did was wrong, but they were pressured. What about what Israel have been doing to the Palestinians for decades? Why can't I say that they were just as wrong as Hamas was? The latest guy, who's this actor? Robert De Niro. What is on his mind? Does he have a personal vendetta against Donald? I don't get it. Now, I'll tell you, since you're going to watch me at a later time, and that's good because I don't need any comments now. People, I really feel bad about our country. Oh, I try to tell my LGBTQ friends to be careful when you go out. Be careful when you want to express your freedoms and your desire to be independent of anyone else's social mores. Social mores are the crux of what holds a society together. And when those particular transcripts are torn down, cast by the wayside, you're not safe as you think you are anymore. You're not. We can define, and I have a webcast up on my site called I'm a Man and You're a Woman. If I were you, I'd look at that one again. I'm not going to repeat that here, but I can tell the difference between a man and a woman, and I won't be twisted and made to think other than I've always thought my entire life. Now, fortunately, in this country, in America, you're entitled to be a free thinker. But I got to share something with you. And I'm not going to give any names. And I want this to go out to the LGBTQ community. I'm sitting here in my home and I had a busy day. And I was in the midst of taking off these sweats and sweaty clothes that I had on. I had been out and I wanted to relax. I was going to cook dinner, and the doorbell rang. I know no one is supposed to come by. Usually, when people come by to visit me, they call me and let me know they're coming by. This was a very dear friend of mine. As a matter of fact, I met this man when he was in his late teens. I know his family. Most of them are females. And I asked him when I first met him. I helped him out. He was in school. And I've been doing this for years. I buy boys a pair of jeans, a shirt, pair of shoes, whatever they need. After my wife died and my daughters grew up, I have a few extra dollars. And I take care of people that don't have the money to take care of themselves. That's just my nature. And since I came out in 2016, I have an affinity to help people whose nature is kind of like more like mine, bisexual, LGBT people. Well, this man came by to visit me yesterday, and I asked him, what was the visit about? What did you come by for? And this man knows that I counsel him. For years, I counsel a lot of men for years. And he told me that he was seriously thinking about marrying. And I said, marrying who? And he showed me this beautiful picture of this young black lady. And I said, are you serious? Because he's out of his 20s, I believe in his 30s, that's all I'm going to say. And we've never had this conversation, but I'm having a serious conversation with you because I want to share something with you. It's what I've been telling gay men since I came out myself, because I don't like what I see all the time in the gay community. Not at all. I'm not afraid to voice my opinion. I think that with the years that I've been living and this media, YouTube, they're able to come back and listen to me. And I hope that they can listen to me as one LGBTQ man to another. I'm not your enemy. Um, I'm a thinking elder of the tribe. I'm a thinking elder of the tribe. And I demand respect. I demand you listen to this. No noise in the background. I don't think anybody's going to be busting in to join me. I want you to think with me. Let me jump off track a little bit. When the voting comes around, a president is going to be elected, and it's not going to be Joe Biden. I don't think he'll be able to handle mentally and physically the campaign. he's not the candidate for the Democrats to win. Donald Trump is fully aware of what he's saying and doing. He was fully aware of what he was saying and doing when he committed those crimes. But there's one thing that he knows about the American population, that the majority rules. And even though, hear me out, and I'm not going to take this one off. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it up because sometimes I have misgivings about leaving certain posts up after I've said it. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. Maybe I could have done it this way. Maybe I was a little bit too harsh. Maybe that wasn't fair. No. I'm going to leave this one up. Just by looking at the sheer numbers of people that, because a lot of people are losing things. Look at these tornadoes wiping out these neighborhoods. Blacks and whites, of course. But that's going to change people. That's going to change the way people think. And America has always been a country. My lights are out. My power's out. I don't have this. I don't have that. Somebody help me. Have you been listening to the Palestinians? Huh? Do you look at Al Jazeera News from Doha? Do you watch Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman? To pick up some real news of what's going on. I was looking at Lester Holt's face today. Poor Lester. He's the anchor of NBC News, a black man. He just let the other persons at the forum talk. Lester looks totally disgusted. Just the way that Walter Cronkite or Jerry Dunphy back in the day would have looked, a newscaster here in LA. From the desert to the sea to all of Southern California, a good evening. That's Jerry Dunphy. It's a sad day for America. I don't know what we can tell our children that we birth. I don't know what we can say to encourage them. Oh, I need to shave, don't I? I should have shaved before I came on today. But I'm just sitting around my house. I'm an 80-year-old man. I don't care. And you know what? When I see what's happening on the news all over the world, these people dying, and I made myself go in there and prepare dinner tonight. And it was a nice one. I took some spaghetti and just had a handful. And I had mixed vegetables. And I had a very thin slice of salmon. And I ate. I made myself eat because I did not want to eat. They can't get food in Gaza. What am I doing eating and feeling good about that and they can't get food in Gaza? I care, man. I care. Same thing with Ethiopia. Same thing with those other countries where people are starving to death. Have floods. People are being plagued by diseases. This is sad. And our country is sending weaponry. It seemingly is used against the innocents. Hurts me, people. It hurts me. I one of my friends told me, John, stop watching the news, man. Just stop watching it. No, I gotta know what's going on. I gotta know what's going on. I'd like you after this webcast is over to, and I'll only go about 20 more minutes, an hour. I'm not going to go more than that. But I need you to put down in the comment area what you think the solution is. I think that the Christian church, the religion of most people in this country, Christianity, is mocking their own sense of what religion is. I've seen for the first time this conflict about the Palestinians, Jews come together with Palestinians, with Muslims on the university campuses. It seems that our young adults that are going to university are far more, how can I say, serious about things than a lot of people are. I'm trying to keep my face presentable. I'm sorry. They're trying to work together, the professors and and I thought about that because I was a professor on the campus of Harvard Junior College and West LA College, and I thought about what I do. Of course, I'd side with the encampments. Anytime I see civilians murdered and killed, but in this country, it seems that we don't care anymore. And then we got these slick talking politicians. Now, for those of you that were my students when I taught in college, you see why I don't vote anymore? See why I told you? Voting means nothing. It is a bad, bad time in America. I'm going to leave it at that because I just need to take a nap. I'm getting older and things affect me differently. I have to take a nap because this is far too strenuous for me to continue with this. I love you. If you want to comment on this, I'd appreciate you leaving a serious comment. I'll try to be back tomorrow, shaving, and do a better cast than I did today, okay? Thanks for coming. Thank you.